welcome to the Mama's Boys podcast, where we talk about anything ranging from anime to video games to whatever else the fuck they want to talk about. Starring your hosts, Tommy J and Raymond. Be warned, there may be spoilers for anime, manga, and video games you may or may not have already watched or played. If you want to continue to support us, please subscribe below, click the notification bell, and watch the episodes as they drop every Monday.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Mama's Boys podcast. I'm your favorite host, Tommy J, and I'm joined today by your second favorite host, Raymond. Raymond, how's your week been?
Bro, my week has been phenomenal until a few minutes ago when I saw that Netflix raised the price to $20 a month.
Wait, did they?
Oh, yes, they did. They just did. And
Fuck.
I don't know what they're trying to squeeze us for every little penny they got. The least they could do is wait until I finish Seven Deadly Sins. Like, come on, bro.
You're not even paying for your Netflix though.
We don't gotta mention that. We don't gotta mention that.
You're right.
Sharing is caring. Okay. We don't gotta mention that. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I know. I get what you're saying.
It is. Anyway, week's been good. It's been phenomenal. Obviously, besides work, you know, I'm always like freaking just going to work, not wanting to be there. But I'm getting a new job soon. Well, I'm applying for new jobs, so I'm hoping to get one of those. Other than that, I'm still like putting together this like voiceover booth, my little studio. Getting more parts. Got some more delivered today. Got some lights. Got some sound paneling for my walls and some command strips. So I'm gonna put that all together tonight or tomorrow morning.
Mm-hmm.
Then all that I need left is what's it? You know those exercise pads? You know the ones that look like puzzle pieces, but they're huge.
Mm-hmm.
Those are good with like sound isolation, or at least I've heard.
Yeah, we're using those for our at-home gym to put the equipment on top of. We have like really big ones.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. They work well.
I'm just gonna put it right underneath like the my little booth. Just right underneath it, because mine is like a big square, kind of actually more like a big rectangle. I'm just gonna put it right underneath, and then maybe one on top, because I don't have a ceiling to this, you know, just to keep breathing in. But yeah, other than that, it's been good. What about you, Thomas?
I'll tell you what, man, my week has been wild. I've been following the news very closely, and I don't know, dude, it feels like the world is on fire. Stuff happening in Ukraine, crazy stuff. And that brings us pretty much to kind of what I wanted to talk about for this week on the podcast, which was kind of a little rundown on the Ukraine crisis and everything from our perspective.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. I also forgot to add too, I got allergies this week without playing tennis. Pollen got up in me, so you know I've been sick for a fat minute. My nose just cleared up like right now a few seconds ago, but you know I'm really grinding hard to get this episode out to you fools. So you know you better appreciate these bitches, okay?
You guys better subscribe and listen to our other episodes, even though you know some of them can be pretty boring, but you know it does us a service if you guys please subscribe.
Yeah, if you follow us on YouTube, then please subscribe. I'm making a new link tree to put on my Twitter as well, at Raymond Zoldyck, VA. Sorry. Other than that, continue.
Yeah, no, but okay, so let's do a little deep dive into and so what's been going on. So I believe it was February 24th is when Russia first started to really invade Ukraine. They brought, I think, 150,000 troops into Ukraine, and let's be real here. The odds stacked against Ukraine, it was looking very slim. It was looking very grim for them, you know? Everyone was like, ah, crap, Ukraine will fall. Zelensky's probably going to dip. You know, it'll be just like another like Taliban takes over Afghanistan. That did not happen.
Before you begin, I just want to like let everybody know like that was some crazy shit what happened with Afghanistan. And the other day, the Afghanistan leaders, the Taliban, were made a comment about how they want this whole situation with Russia and Ukraine resolved with peace talks and negotiation. So what?
Yeah, I know,
But
a
then
little ironic,
again,
isn't it?
too, it is. But on the other hand, too, there, the president of Afghanistan dipped, but Zelensky's still here.
Yeah, no.
So Afghanistan, it fell easier than Ukraine could have ever.
No, it's truly fascinating when it happened. I guess Putin. I mean, from my guess, Putin probably thought that Zelensky would dip and that the country would just fall because morale would be reduced to nothing quite quickly. Especially in the face of an evil as great as powerful as Russia was. But no, that did not happen. Zelensky, the fucking Giga Chad that he is, he sat there, stood his ground, and said, "No, we're going to fight." And he pretty much got himself, he equipped himself with like military gear and everything. He's fighting with his own people. Like, what kind of world leader does that?
None of them.
When would we have ever seen like Biden or Trump or any of our presidents since George fucking Washington get into the military with us and fight?
Shoot, none of them since George. Let me tell you.
No, oof. Yeah, no, George 200 years ago, that guy was a man. But Zelensky is like a modern George Washington right now, and it's impressive because his courageousness, I guess you could say, is his courage and his bravery that's inspired the world. Like, the world was just like, yo, let's stay out of this. And then he goes and he's like, no, we're gonna fight for freedom, we're gonna fight for our people. And then the world kind of just started rallying behind the Ukraine and imposing all these sanctions now and on Russia. Obviously, Putin threatened the world. He said, "Yo, I'll nuke anyone who gets involved," practically.
Which better be careful, though.
We better be careful. But that's why we're fighting him economically, right?
No, I said he better be careful.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I know he got nukes. I know he got nukes. He's got China and North Korea. But we got NATO.
Yeah, no, seriously, NATO will fuck them up. That's what's gonna happen. But that's the thing, is that nobody wants a world war on that level. And so I don't know, man. It's just, and so when that happened, all of Ukraine pretty much got battle heart ready. Everyone was like inspired by their leader, and now they're all fighting this war. They're fighting like animals. Like they have to, they're fighting for survival. And it's impressive because for a moment there, it looked like Ukraine has a chance to actually win this, which would be such a huge L for Putin.
Yeah, like
if he lost to Ukraine, like, yo, that would be wild. It would be the best thing in the world, a freaking miracle. But like, it would look so bad on Putin. But in recent, yeah, definitely. But in recent developments, I guess he's gotten more of his military in, and they're not trying to surgically take over the land anymore. They're just shelling the shit out of everything. They're exploding buildings left and right, killing citizens, and it's just like it's a wasteland. That's what it looks like right now. But
I will say that Zelensky's decision to stay, like you said, inspired a lot of people, especially the people in his own country.
Mm-hmm.
And that it makes sense because you see all these videos of the citizens, standing their ground against the Russians and all that. But I do think in some way it's a little bad because like the civilians that shouldn't be there, that aren't the men, are still there. And I feel like everybody who's supposed to leave should get out so that they're not murdered by the Russians. You know what I mean? Instead of staying because they want to, fight for their land.
No, I agree. I think honestly, because of how terrible the odds are against them, their best bet would have been to get out of there and just run and live to fight another day. Because eventually Putin will die of old age, and hopefully someone else will come into power, and they'll be a smarter guy, not a KGB member, and they won't be a product of the Soviet era, and they will open it back up and give Ukraine back their individuality, I guess. But the thing is, people don't necessarily think about the future as much as they think about the moment, or the near future. And I think Zelensky and them, they were just, it's not wrong what they're doing, but there are other ways I think they could have gone about it, and they would have spared more lives at least. Well, that's what you said. I think if they had evacuated everyone in their country and just given it to Russia, while that would have been wrong and it would have been terrible because Russia would have had their stuff, a lot more guys would have lived, and would probably, a lot of both Russian guys and Ukrainians would survive, and they would live to see their families grow up. And eventually, I mean, Putin's only so old. Eventually, he's going to die of old age, and hopefully, when he dies, Putin is really the biggest problem I find. When he dies, hopefully his dictatorship will die with him, but who knows? Not to say that what they're doing is wrong. I think this is a very pinnacle like moment in current history right now, because it's because of the Ukrainians' like final stand here in the face of like what seems to be an unbeatable nuclear power. The whole world is united against a common enemy, pretty much, except for China. But even they're kind of like, "Hey, Russia, you need to chill." It's impressive.
I think they're only like that though because it's affecting their economy as well, though.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't
But
know.
do you
Man.
really think though that it's gonna change if Putin does die? I know he's like 68, but it seems like the only person that would become president after him would be somebody with kind of his values and vigor. You
Mhm.
know?
No, yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like it. I don't know. It's hard to say because you're right. The problem is he's in a position of power, and positions of power naturally attract more narcissistic and just terrible people. Um, it's kind of a 50-50 in my eyes, at least. I think he's a major product of his time, and so if we can get someone who's younger to come into power, who isn't from the Soviet era, or from the back in, because that's what I think Putin's main goal is. He just wants to restore the USSR to its former glory, right?
What glory?
Well, whatever glory they had, they were in an empire. They
Yeah.
had the Iron Curtain, the Berlin
Yeah.
Wall, Yeah.
Yeah, they did have all that, but too, they have to be somebody that's young, like you said, that isn't influenced by his propaganda. Because they can be young, yeah, sure, but now the younger generation, or like they just, they don't believe anything that's going on in Ukraine is any of Putin's fault, and that it needs to be done.
Sure. Yeah, there are. Well, that's a lot of of misinformation that a lot of the Russian propaganda is pushing to a lot of them, right?
Yeah.
And I think if you can just if you can get someone like Gorbachev, Gorbachev was one of the leaders or prime ministers or whatever of Russia at one point. He was a fairly solid guy. Obviously, he was a product of his time, so it's not like he wanted to loosen the grip. Well, he did want to loosen the grip, but it's not like he wanted to completely demolish the idea of the Soviet Empire. But he wanted to loosen its grip up a little bit. He wanted to open Russia to the world. He wanted their economy because their economy was failing, and he wanted them to have a strong economy. So he said, "We need to establish better connections with the world. We can't be isolated like China and them."
Yeah.
And he was doing good for the country. And then Putin comes in and kind of took all of his work and turned it over on its head. So I don't know.
And no, you're right. You're absolutely right. Well, hopefully, somebody will come in. I like how too we're saying it as if he's going to be president for the rest of his life, which that could possibly be the case.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Putin, he's corrupted their system to a point where like he's probably going to, if nobody kills him soon, he's going to be president for a long time.
Yeah. And that's crazy. And like, it's like so convenient too, because at this time, currently the Queen's got COVID, the Queen in England, and we haven't like heard much about. I mean, of course, Boris, and he's been talking about Ukraine and stuff.
Right.
But I had the theory that Putin gave. I'm kidding. Putin gave her COVID-19. No, that's gonna be crazy though. That's gonna be crazy when she passes on though.
I wonder if she's going to make it through COVID. I hope she does. I mean, it would be kind of a shame.
Well, we don't even know.
What...
Like, I mean, it wouldn't be a shame, but we don't even know when COVID's gonna end. Like right now, we don't even have like.
Oh no, I got that.
Cure. And you think
but
we
I'm
would
just
by
hoping
now?
I'm hoping Queen of England pulls through. I mean, some people are like, just kick the bucket already, but I'm like, nah, guys, she's running a marathon here. It would be a shame to, trip up and right now after she's made it so far.
And it would be really bad for like the Brits if she just ended up just kicking the bucket right now during this time of trial with Ukraine and all that.
Right. So I don't know. But yeah, with Ukraine though, I mean, like, what do you think about that? I mean, you've been following the news. It looks like Russia's really bunkering down and now hammering the Ukraine hard.
Yeah, no, they really have been. I do think, though, unfortunately, in an unfortunate manner, that Putin's gonna nuke, or maybe not nuke, but like he's going to do something. I know he has some kind of secret plan or something that he's preparing in case Ukraine pushes back too hard and it makes him start looking like a joke, just so he can lay that iron fist down. You kind of like you know, when a kid behaves bad and you gotta spank him, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Something that
I mean, I don't know if
back.
that's the best analogy here, but I get what you're saying.
Maybe not the best analogy, you know, but you get what I'm saying, though. I feel like they have something ready, and I'm kind of scared for it because Zelensky's been a goat so far, and if he dies, then you know, hope dies.
Well, I hope if Zelensky does die, I hope his last words are something inspirational, because you know that if he dies saying something effectively heroic, that will be morale will just be boost tenfold. I think everyone will fight for his cause, and thus the war will fight past him. You know.
Yeah.
But I'm just hoping it never comes to that. Honestly, all my best wishes to Ukraine. I hope they pull through this. If they pull through this, it'll be a freaking miracle. If they win against Russia, who is a superpower, they have a big military. Like, don't get me wrong, and Ukraine is outnumbered. But if they can pull through and manage, that will be insane. You know, like I don't even know where to begin. How good that would be. You know.
My theory is that, I know you've seen these videos, like the last week I saw this video of a Russian soldier, they were captured, and the Ukrainians let him call his mom and shit.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I've seen a few of those actually.
So I'm thinking the only way they'd win right now, or at least like, this is not like when like, oh, they killed the entire Russian army, but this is like when like there's so many casualties and Russian soldiers defect from Putin's line, that he has to call it off for a bit to form a new strategy. Or maybe just lets them keep Ukraine for a little bit longer until he can come back with a new plan and better troops.
No, I don't know, man. What I think is if Putin loses this war, this will just look so bad on him, his own people will probably turn against him, if they haven't turned against him more. And that's the thing. The longer this war goes on, the more and more the Russian military morale decreases, and they won't fight as hard, and the morale decreases amongst the people, and the sanctions get worse and worse against Russia, so the people are getting more and more pissed at Putin, or at least I hope they do, you know.
Yeah, I mean, they have to. I mean, the dollar is being reduced to less than a Roebuck right now.
Yes, no, straight up, you get that's wild, honestly.
It's crazy.
Yeah, Putin is cutting Russia out of the world's like network effectively. He's establishing almost like a new Iron Curtain, and it's ridiculous. It's I don't know. It's just throwing them back economically. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, already their economy was trash.
Yeah. The only ones who really even know what's going on are the people that don't watch the TV and look stuff up online, and the people who saw the anonymous broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
And
so I don't know.
Like, it needs to be broadcasted more because the rest of the people need to see this so they can turn against Putin. Because right now, I'm sure they all think, yo, Putin's strong, Putin this and Putin that, you know. But, you know, really, it's just all this, like, propaganda they've been told, and they just don't believe anything else. So hopefully something happens to where his voter popularity gets reduced to 0.
I hope so. I think, though, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. I'm just hoping that things don't escalate past here, because if NATO gets involved, and then we have literal World War III. And so NATO's being smart. They don't want to get involved at all. But the problem is that they're still trying to devise other ways to help Ukraine out. And honestly, with the way the odds are looking against Ukraine, and because just recently now Russia is really attacking them hard, and they're just taking out cities. And they actually had a crisis with the one of their nuclear reactors, which is insane. If Russia was accidentally shelled some of the one of the nuclear reactors, and everyone was freaking out about that worldwide, because if that had gone critical, that's another Chernobyl or Fukushima right there. Now you got freaking fallout spread across all of Europe, you know.
Yeah.
And that's ridiculous. You don't want that. That's just a messy. Radiation is a mess. You know, at that point the war would have already gone nuclear in a sense. and nobody wants that.
Would NATO step in though if he were to do that with the power plant? Because isn't that a war crime to target power plants?
Yes. Well, I don't know if it's explicitly a war crime, but I think it is. I think it's considered one recently, and I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that. But I think NATO definitely would have stepped in if that had gone critical or some major crisis had happened. And
That
if NATO
wouldn't just
stepped in,
affect,
another escalation.
Russia,
You know.
Yeah. That wouldn't just affect Russia. That would affect the countries all around, like Ukraine, obviously, and the
That
NATO
would affect
countries
all of
around
Europe.
them. Yeah.
But I don't think Ukraine's gonna last too long. At the rate they're going to last a while. Obviously, they're fighting tooth and nail. But Russia, they're slowly beating them down, and it's really heartbreaking to watch. And it makes me want NATO to be able to act and go and help them out. You know, like enforce a no-fly zone. But just recently, Putin just came out and said, "Hey, any no-fly zones, if NATO and pretty much imposes a no-fly zone anywhere, that he will take that as an act of war, and then thus will kickstart World War III effectively." And so now NATO's in a corner. We can't do that. We can't. All we can do is supply them with weapons and hope that they can do it. And so I hope that we supply them with our best weapons, because I don't know, man. And we also need to give them like IEDs, if you know what those are.
No, I actually don't. What are those?
It's like improvised improvised explosive device. So, and a lot the Iraqis use them a lot against our troops, against our convoys. They're like little improvised mines. If we can get Ukrainians to start using them really well, like the Iraqis were using, they could take out a lot of these convoys. As far as the aerial goes, though, I don't know what the Ukrainians can do, you know?
Yeah.
Dang. Oof. I don't know, but so I hope Ukraine pulls through. I hope with everything I've got that they pull through this, but the odds are not looking very good recently.
They really haven't. I'll be honest, I thought Ukraine was going to go down in the first maybe week. When
they started storming, I thought they were just going to fall within the first 72 hours. I was like, you can't beat Russia at this point. But was I wrong? Those guys are fighting tooth and nail. And it's heartbreaking though. It's really heartbreaking because I was just watching some I was on Reddit, obviously looking at some videos of there, and there were like guys who were just saying goodbye to their kids. It looked like something out of the movies. It was like people saying goodbye to their children, as their wives and kids are getting on these trains and stuff or buses. And it's sad because you think those guys are probably never going to see their kids again. A lot of them are they're going to die, and I'm just like, I can't help but like start to tear up a little bit.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I didn't think about it like that, but yeah, no, it definitely is. I'm sure a lot of them haven't seen a lot of maybe the older generation haven't seen anything like that since World War II.
Yeah, no, that's insane. But yeah, so what do you think is going to happen though? Do you think it's possible that, like, because Putin's been threatening with nukes and stuff, like, what is your take on that?
I think kind of like I think we talked about this the other day, but I think it's a bluff for right now. I don't think he's going to nuke them. I think he just wants them to be scared enough to just give up, or threaten them enough with nukes to the point where Zelensky decides to put the health of his soldiers and people over, just trying to keep Ukraine theirs. Because I know that he really wants it. He really wants that freedom and stuff. But it's not like they won't have it if they go to another country. Like Brazil, Poland are all offering them places to stay on visas, and work.
Right.
And they still have freedom. The only thing they wouldn't have are their possessions, houses, and of course, like, their land, their country, and their home that they, and that sounds bad too, but that's the only thing they wouldn't have. Which is terrible. It is horrendous, terribly horrendous, but it is what it is to keep you and your family's lives,
Right. At least the men and they have, at least kids grow up with fathers,
Yeah. But now like half of them don't have one. And then Russia was attacking kindergartens and shit.
Yeah, Russia was they shelled the kindergarten, and they're shelling everything now. They civilians are dying left and right. I actually watched a video of this guy. his dad I guess he was driving with two dogs and his dad, and they got shelled or something or attacked, and his dad got his leg blown off, and it was really sad because this guy was trying to tell his dad, hold still, like stay alive, don't move too much, you'll bleed out. And yeah, I guess in the news there was the conclusion to that video, or what that eventually led to, and those two guys were both found dead, and their dogs were dead as well. And I was like, man, that's just really sad. And these are just innocent civilians. And so I don't know. It's pretty upsetting right now.
There's a lot of people that don't need to be there. Like right now, like obviously those kids, a lot of women.
Mm-hmm.
And I clicked on Snap Map the other day on Ukraine, Kiev. I saw this dude playing Fortnite. It said, "I'm coming for you, Russia."
What?
Dude was playing Fortnite. So on Snap Map, you can click on areas and countries and see people, just random people's latest snaps. And I clicked in Kiev, and this dude was playing Fortnite.
Interesting.
While they were getting shelled, like there's a war going on. But again, that goes back to Zelensky, encouraging people to stay and fight. Like, yeah, that was good at the start. It's good to put up a fight, but now there's children dying.
Well, yeah, no, more people are dying than not, and their death is for a just cause. However,
it is.
I don't know if I can say. Yeah, I don't know if I can say it's worth death. Especially for the more innocent, like children and the women. I mean, I understand if the guys want to, like they said, they need the able bodies. They send their men off to war. But I don't know. It's a really messy situation, no matter from which angle you look at it from.
And it's like now their town's destroyed. Kiev's destroyed, basically. So even if they did win and stay, they'd have to rebuild that entire place.
Right. And so it's like, what do you have to come back to anyway? I don't know. It'd be impressive if they win though, and I'm rooting for them. I'm hoping they'll win, but
absolutely 100%.
At some point, I'm a little skeptical. I'm like, they're gonna suffer so many losses. I can't say. I can't. I don't know if I can say if it's worth it yet.
Yeah, and I guess not. We'd have to wait a little bit longer to see if, just more clear, like, if we could find a clear outcome, like, later on down the road, see what's going to happen,
I hope so. But
recently, like, I heard Russia took a few cities, though.
Yeah, they've taken a few.
Ukraine.
They took one of their power plants, and so I think that's what they're trying to do. If they take the power plants and then they shut them down, now Ukraine is in the dark. They have no electricity, no power. They, how are they going to fight?
And that's why I mentioned before, they're not going to get nuked. I don't think Putin's going to nuke them. He knows better than to do that. If he does, the power plant's going to fuck Russia in the ass, okay?
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely. But do you think, would you put it past Putin, though? Like, back to my main question. Putin's been threatening, like, NATO with nukes. If NATO got involved, would you put it past Putin to actually use nuclear warfare?
Yeah.
You would?
I think he'd use it, like, I don't think immediately, but I think that he'd look to see what we're about to do, but he knows that he can't beat us all.
Right, so he'd just be like,
China, he contact his dad and his dad's friends, because his boy's about to come and jump him and see what they can do.
I also heard, according to a news source, and I can't really vouch for the credibility of this because I don't know. I don't know if this was if this is true or not, but Putin put his family in a nuclear bunker or something, or whatever family or friends he had.
Oh, that's crazy. I didn't even hear about that, but
so I don't know. I mean, like, if it comes to a world war and Putin goes nukes, like, what do we do then?
Well, you can't even shoot nukes down, even if he launched them, can you?
You can shoot them down. We have the Patriot system to shoot a few down, but you can't. When you got thousands of them shot at you, you can't shoot them all down.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I guess you just die or go to fallout shelter.
Yeah, and then now the rest of your days we're pushed back to the Stone Age at that point.
Yeah, it'd be like Dr. Stone. Have to rebuild society.
Yeah, I guess so. That'd be pretty shitty though.
It would be. It would be. But that's humanity for you. But like I said,
Yeah.
I don't put it past him. He'd probably do it if he really needed to, and maybe not like the beginning when he noticed like NATO's fighting back. But I feel like if if he's in like a Hitler position where he's surrounded, he's got nothing else left.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking about. That I think, we're probably not going to get to this point. I don't think we're going to get to this point. I don't want to jinx it. But I think Putin understands that nuclear bombs mean they mean ends to modern civilization as we know it for at least a few decades. So I think he wouldn't want to do that. But I think I think that's why he's threatening NATO. He's trying to scare NATO because he doesn't want NATO to get involved. If they get involved, now you got literal World War, like World War III at that point. And if you got World War III, eventually NATO will win because NATO has so much more power and just it's a whole group alliance against Russia. And then he would be pushed back into a corner. Either he would die or he would be like, "Fuck it, if I can't win, I'm going. Everyone's coming down with me," you know.
Yeah.
And he would probably go the nuclear route.
Yeah. Most likely. Most likely. Unless we unless he got assassinated first. That'd
Well,
probably
that's what
be
I'm
the
hoping
goal.
for. I'm hoping his own people will get pissed at him and take him out.
That's all we can hope for, really.
Yeah, but I guess we'll see.
I guess we will. I mean, honestly, with this war, it's been affecting, a lot of stuff. Even the voiceover industry. A lot of voiceover artists can't even get jobs from Russian clients anymore because of the whole them taking the banks out of Swift.
Yeah, I know these sanctions they're really doing a number on the economy from every angle.
And just the people, and Putin don't care. He not giving a damn. And that's the reason why the people are gonna turn on him. Well,
I hope
because they're
they
gonna
will, at least.
realize, they're gonna realize he doesn't give a damn.
Yeah, he doesn't care about anyone but himself.
It's starting to look that way. I mean, it's always looked that way, but I don't know. He obviously plays dirty, killing his political partners and stuff. And I don't know.
Oh, who was that guy? There was actually a guy who ran for office that he poisoned, but the guy survived, and he's alive still. But what happened was the poison deformed like his skin around his face and stuff, and he suffered what's it called, like chloracne, which is like chemically induced acne, but it's like really bad. It causes all sorts of shit, and he looked like the poor guy, like he survived, but I mean that poison did a number on him, you know.
Yeah, it's terrible. He probably let him live on purpose.
I don't know if he. I mean, he
well,
poisoned
after
him.
he survived, though.
I mean, probably to send a message, you know. I mean, Putin seems pretty proud about stuff. He's never actually. I don't think he's actively denied poisoning any of these people who've gone against him.
I haven't seen him deny it.
Who needs him, you know? So I mean, like,
it is what it is.
I don't know. We gotta weed this guy out, you know.
No, 100%, 100%.
But yeah, so that's really what's going on in the Ukraine. I mean, it's wild, and like, if you guys want to keep up to date, I recommend watching the news because these next few weeks might change everything. There a lot might happen, and best be prepared and best be ready for it. You know.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I've been doing, just keeping up on that stuff. If you guys want to, like Tommy said, definitely keep up on it. It really is something. It's not a pretty sight to wake up to every morning, you know. I'm hoping every morning I wake up, I hope hopefully, Ukraine got taken without any nukes, without any crazy shit happening, and just end it. Or
me too. But I'm waking up. I'm like, hopefully, Putin got assassinated by someone, or because I bet you, if Putin got assassinated, their troops would pull out real quickly. They'd be like, we don't want to be here.
Yeah, hell yeah.
They're only there because they're afraid that they'll be executed by Putin.
That's true. But even
So-
though, that's like a lot of people though.
Who? Which ones? Who are we talking about?
Like the people that don't want to be there. I feel like that's a large portion of his troops.
No, I actually I read that there were, especially at the beginning of the war, there were people, like Russian troops, who, upon realizing what they were doing, they refused to fight and they surrendered to the enemy, which is very respectable, and to be able to understand that your side is in the wrong and refuse to fight like that. And so, but the problem with that is when they go back home, they're going to be executed or something. They're going to face huge problems if Putin is still around. You know.
Yeah. And
But
it's not like they can't even go to other countries like the Ukrainians can't, because they're not gonna be let in.
No, nobody likes Russians right now, and it's kind of sad because there's a lot of Russians who are very against this whole ordeal, but just like there are a lot of Russians who aren't against it, you know. So I don't know. It's just, again, it's tricky from no matter what angle you look at it from.
Yeah. It really is. It really is.
But yeah, no, but
on,
so yeah. Oh, sorry. What were you saying?
I was gonna say, like, on another note, just to take a break from the ads. In like voiceover news, so Futurama is being renewed for another season. I think it's another season or two, but they got all the original guys back, Billy West, all those boys. At first they didn't have John DiMaggio because they refused to pay him more money for, you know, playing his iconic character of Bender,
Right.
Futurama. But they fixed that now, and he's getting what he deserves and stuff. And yeah, but yeah, if you guys like Futurama, go check it out. It's gonna be on Hulu. I don't know when though. Don't know when, but we'll keep you in the loop.
Yeah, definitely. I've never watched Futurama. I believe it ended though. Didn't it end on a pretty good note though?
Yeah, it did. It did. I feel like it. I think it got canceled actually, but they still planned out the ending of it, of the season. No, when it got canceled.
Right.
But yeah, it's kind of like a mix between like Simpsons, Family Guy, and Rick and Morty.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all like sci-fi and all that. So yeah, if you guys want to watch that, yeah, freaking hit Hulu, dog.
Maybe I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, 100%. Anyway, back to the show.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we've pretty much covered like everything that's happened, everything that is happening, I think.
Yeah, no, we did.
I was gonna say, let's talk about like what could happen, or what would you do if worst case scenario happened? You know, like let's say
scenario. Obviously, we go on Fallout. Okay, Fallout mode. First of all,
I know you get your Pip Boy.
I'm getting my Pip Boy. I'm slapping that bitch on. Okay, first things first.
Okay.
I'm gonna obviously sign up to get one of these motherfucking vaults. I'm gonna make sure I go a few days earlier though, before like, well, actually I can't, like, there's no way I'm gonna ever be able to know when the nukes are coming, but you know, I'm analyzing these vaults. I gotta make sure that these boys aren't about to experiment on my ass. You know, I played too much Fallout. I've got too much PTSD from that game to go on one of those vaults in real life without knowing what's up in that bitch. So I'm putting on my jumpsuit, I'm going in, and yeah, hoping for the best, really.
Yeah, no, same. I think. Yeah, so for me, I'm just like I've actually packed a bag here with some just essential stuff I think I'll need just in case. Like the war seems to escalate further. I'll probably like go take a camping trip for a little bit and just hope that worst case doesn't come for about a week, and then we'll see what happens. You know, I mean, most people call me crazy or paranoid, but I mean, like I don't know. We'll see. You know, we'll see who's crazy when you know, the rest of the city that you know is all freaking green glass, right? But
Well,
Nah.
also, we're not trying to alarm anybody, because that whole nuke situation, that's a very
Right,
like, unlikely.
Oh yeah, no, it's rather unlikely, but like I don't know. I always say hope for the best, prepare for the worst. So me, I just got a backpack full of stuff I think I'll need. Like I said, if things escalate, like if NATO gets involved, that's when I'll probably. And NATO says they won't get involved, but you never know. If NATO does ever get involved before this ends, I'll probably go take a nice camping trip, right? And so I'll probably go down because I live in Utah. I'm near Salt Lake City. I'll probably go down to the south, where like a Fallout or something wouldn't be able to get them. But yeah.
I'll probably pick up my girl Dora, dog. She got a backpack, anything I need in it.
Huh. Okay. Wait.
Dora.
The Explorer.
Yeah. How'd you know?
Dude, do you think Dora and Diego would have a good chance at surviving a Holocaust, a nuclear Holocaust?
Jesus Christ. I depends. Are they like in the middle of it?
No. They like they're fine. Like the bombs already went off and they're good,
Oh, and it's like the aftermath.
Right. Yeah, so it's the fallout, really.
It all depends on so backpack. Backpack, he doesn't like and especially like Diego's backpack. Though there are two backpacks, they're interdimensional beings. They don't pack all this stuff into them. All the stuff is manifested inside the backpack whenever Diego needs something.
Right.
So it's manifested and it's just in there waiting for Diego or Dora to get their shit.
So what, do you think Dora could just pull out a hazmat suit and a Geiger counter?
100%.
Damn.
Did I stutter? No. 100% she could pull both of those out at a moment's notice. Both backpacks conform to the situations at the current moment.
I need to get myself one of those backpacks.
Yeah. They change the items inside based on those situations. So if she needed a fallout shelter, looks like they got the material.
Damn, that would be useful. It's a shame Dora doesn't exist,
It's a shame that she in Area 51 right now working.
What?
Yeah. How you think they?
I don't know about that. I'm pretty sure Diego's probably in Area 51. Dora, she's probably somewhere down in South America in the Amazon forest.
Hey, that's probably true. Honestly, probably true. But I do believe they would have a good chance at surviving the nuclear holocaust for a little bit, at least for a few years. To be honest, I don't feel like they could rebuild society or anything,
Mm-hmm.
or do anything else, but they could survive for a few years.
I don't know. With that backpack, she could probably pull out like a new International World Trade Center and like.
Why would they need a World Trade Center?
I don't know. I mean, you never know. Like.
No. Why would they need a World Trade Center after the fallout?
I don't know. Like maybe you need to trade with people, right?
Yeah. The only thing I'd never see backpack pull out is food. That's the only thing though. So my theory is that, and Dora, she a big girl. She probably like to eat. She Latina, so she cooking.
Oof.
She knows how to make. Well, not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. In a good way. In a good way.
Right.
She
I will admit. My mother being from Guatemalan descent. The Latinas or Latinos or Latin people. What do you call? What would you call them? The Hispanic people? Yeah, dude, they make some good ass food. That shit is slapping like 100% of the time. Like if I can get myself a burrito versus something that like the Europeans make, hell yeah, damn well I'm getting a burrito.
100%.
God damn.
So I'm feeling like Backpack can't actually pull out food. He can't create food, but he can. Or maybe she's just not hungry. Yeah, they survive anyway. But that's the answer to your question. Other than that, I actually think for the sake of time, I think we've gone over everything. We're pretty far into this podcast.
Yeah, we're like, well, let me see how many minutes. Sorry, I've got a timer here, guys. Craig, we don't want Craig to get bored on us and dip, so let's just we've got 43 minutes, and so yeah, that
Yeah,
I have to
there
say
we
that was
go.
a good chat. I think we covered pretty much everything we needed to cover for this weekend in regards to current events. But yeah. So yeah, if you guys like with that one and you want to have more content from us, let us know in the comments what you want to see or what you want to hear, and let's
Oh,
give your praise
yeah.
out to the Ukraine. Hope that the people there, they live to see another day, and that they make it through all this. And then leave a like button and subscribe. I guess I don't know. It's whatever.
Yeah. Please email us below if you have any suggestions on what we should talk about, or if you want us to react or review anything, manga, anime, doesn't matter. And yeah, you guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.
Yep. See ya.